afternoon, everyone. I am Delethea Fox, and I'm here with
Shanna.
And we're just going to talk about how the sermon "Healing for a Wounded Heart" helped, and just all around. So, welcome. How are you today?
Thank you. I'm doing great. And yourself?
I'm wonderful. So that sermon, it was kind of done over Valentine's Day. Like, it was a February sermon. So when we think February or Valentine's Day, we think relationships. Most of the time, spousal relationships. So healing for a wounded heart, what specific notes did it touch for you?
Okay, well, for me, I would say that it was a timeline of my life per se. It's like I found myself all the way from as far as I could remember as a child, all the way to my marriage. So it's like as Pastor was speaking, it's like I can see a movie of my life.
Wow.
From very young, and the different scenarios of when, different type of people wounded me. And I knew, you see, as a person, you would know when someone hurts you. It's just that you don't want to deal with the pain and, just deal with it. And especially when it's family, it's like, okay, we just kind of brush it under the rug. But I felt like, I just felt like someone was literally doing surgery on my heart.
Wow.
That day. I was crying like if I was in pain the entire time Pastor was speaking. And one of the things that impacted me the most was when he said that they hurt you sometimes without even knowing, and then started to think back on how others get hurt. And I think that changed my perspective when it comes to...
Were you able to identify maybe somebody dropping you? Because I remember he said that.
Yes.
He said, he was talking about Meshibafeth. I think that's how his name is pronounced. And he was saying that the nurse, in a hurry, accidentally dropped him. But that drop crippled him for the rest of his life. So can you identify, you don't even have to call these names, but one drop that affected you from your childhood?
Yes, I know that my mom did an awesome job with raising us, so I want to say, shout out to my mom.
Yeah, mommy. Hey, Natalia.
But I grew up without my father, and that's a real big impact. I didn't understand. As you get older, you understand how deeply rooted that pain becomes, and if you don't deal with it, it gets out of hand. So for me, going into my marriage, you see, it's like a timeline. So going into my marriage, it's like I felt like I didn't need my spouse.
Ooh.
You see, like I felt like I wanted a spouse.
Independent.
I became very independent because that shadowed my way of thinking of, well, I don't need him. I got this, and it was really bad. You cannot go into a marriage thinking like, I'm going to be so amazing. So one of the things that I learned is everyone can be great by themselves. It's being great with two people being one. That's the hard challenge I feel like people go through.
So let's fast forward to your marriage. So I want to talk about two more topics: your marriage, and then how your being healed now will reflect in your relationship with your kids, or what things will you not do with your kids based on, your healing. So in healing for a wounded heart, how did that affect your marriage? Did that transcend into your marriage?
Correct. I feel like ever since that teaching and me allowing God to continue to heal, because it's not a one-day event, it's a continuous thing, but I keep remembering back on, who dropped my husband and the things that he's probably dealing with as well. So I think I became more merciful and compassionate towards my spouse. Wow. and that has helped us a lot. Like I humble myself. I find myself humbling myself more because I'm real, aggressive. Just like how when I do worship, everyone sees me.
But that's powerful. I never, even until now, I never thought of who dropped my own husband, or I just never thought about it. It's me.
Yeah. So now I think more of my spouse, and like I'm just real compassionate about him, and just try to think about what I wouldn't do, what I wouldn't want him to do to me. And it's changed. And with my children too, like now I find myself like I just want to be the best mom that I can be. Like just taking those mistakes, I know they were unintentional, but I just want to take those and just make me better. Like I want to leave stuff behind for my children. I want to be there as much as I can for them. And
well, thank you. Thank you so much for taking out your time and staying after church to interview. So thank you. Thank you so much for watching. This is Overcomers Christian Fellowship with Miss Shanna and Delicia. Have a good one.
Yeah.